Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Going the JC route. I'm JC. That's AJ Brock. Our third wheel is gone again. Go figure. Wow. Welcome back to the podcast. We're happy to be here. We're happy you're here, watching, listening, whatever the heck you're doing. Who the hell cares, right? We've got another freaking topic today.
Do we ever?
Oh,
I've actually been kind of excited for this one. I
it
like
could be interesting. It could not be interesting. We're gonna talk about it. I don't give a fuck. So, and there goes our mind. Whatever. I don't know. Shit.
language. Language again.
My head's all over the place today. Whatever. Our topic for today is the 5 most interesting / intriguing running backs going into the season. Because there are a few that have either had situation changes, they're finally the number one back. What the hell is their team going to do? Team might have been good last year, not this year. Vice versa, shitty team last year, good team this year. We're going to talk about it. What situations and what running backs do we find the most intriguing for the 2023 college football season, which we are officially less than 3 weeks away.
Yeah, it's right around the corner, man.
We are 18 days away from week 0.
I don't know about you. With this episode in particular, I was actually really looking forward to this topic. You know, I've had it prepared for a while, so I'm curious to hear the names that you put down.
So, I have 5 names. I have a feeling we may or may not repeat a couple, but I have a couple I'm pretty sure we're not.
Cool. Well, man, I'm excited. Shall we jump right in?
I'll let you go first, man.
Cedric Baxter Jr.
He's not on my list, so this is fun.
No, I'm not. I'm kidding. No. I can't be biased.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
With CJ Baxter, again, 5-star, number 1 running back in the country, right?
Yeah, going into this year. Recruited number 1 running back going
Has Texas released a depth chart yet?
Yeah, of our running backs?
Yes.
Hold that thought. Yes, they have. Let me pull it up.
Because I'm pretty sure he's not number 1. And so that's why I'm hesitant, because I don't want to have a running back on the list that
right now
may not even play a lot this year.
Right now, number 1 player, our depth chart, it could change. The last time it was updated was 8 days ago. But Jonathan Brooks is number 1, which Jonathan Brooks is good. Jaden Blue's number 2.
Okay.
Then CJ Baxter. Then Savion Red. And then Keelan Robinson.
Damn. Keelan at 5? That's crazy.
I think it's kind of misleading.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, from a couple of the videos I've seen recently, Texas practice, it sounds like Jaden Blue may be pushing for that number 1 spot. But I'm sure the depth chart will change between now and week 1. But
it's
for me, I kind of staying on our topic, I can't put CJ Baxter on an interesting list if he's not even going to play.
Yeah, not this year. Maybe in the future though. But going into it, my number 1, all joking aside,
who's really the first name you have on your list?
Blake Corum. Blake Corum, running back.
I like this because he's not on my list.
So what? I'm actually surprised. This is why I was looking forward to this list. So let me go into the statistics real quick. Before his injury, almost 1,500 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns, 80 receiving yards. He could have had more receiving, but he is your definition of a potential Heisman Trophy winning running back. And do you actually know, James, who – I had to look this up – who the last Heisman Trophy winner was from Michigan?
It was I can see his face.
1997.
Yeah. Was
Charles Woodson.
Yes. I can see his face in my head, and the name is
if he gets it, which me personally, I think Caleb Williams might get it again. He, going into the season, is a Heisman frontrunner, so that's interesting. But no, Blake Corum, he's got every bit of talent. I know Jim Harbaugh, granted it's his head coach, but he said he has shades of both Walter Payton and Barry Sanders, and he's also paired with Donovan Edwards, who you could put in your top 5. Maybe you have, maybe you didn't. So I like their 1-2 punch of Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, but specifically Blake Corum. And I would be really, really curious to see how he would finish the year if he did not get injured last year. So Blake Corum, number 1. That's on my list. How about you?
Well, to talk about Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, I think pretty obviously Michigan has the best running back tandem in the country.
Yes.
We just saw it last year, right? Now, a large part of that's going to depend on Blake Corum being healthy, right?
Right.
But getting him to come back this year is so big. And, they had so many freaking seniors, and a lot of that team that was good last year returned. So they're going to be good again this year. Hopefully they can take another step, because I kind of like to see that from Michigan. But, Harbaugh is Harbaughing. So who the heck knows what's going to happen. But that tandem alone is going to be really interesting. And if they are healthy, if they're able to stay healthy and be good the entire season, Michigan's probably going to make a run.
Yeah, totally agree. Who's your number 1?
The first name I actually have on my list is TreVeyon Henderson.
Really?
Yeah. So running back that
I'm intrigued.
So running back at Ohio State, he was the number 1 he was one of the top running backs in his class, widely recruited, and was so good even as a true freshman at Ohio State, who got injured last year.
Yeah.
So he missed a large chunk of the season, and he's supposed to be back this coming season. The whole story around this is we know consistently Ohio State has a really, really good offense. Ryan Day is an offensive savant. For him, the interesting situation becomes, well, hey, they've got a bunch of other talented running backs also. So where is he going to slide in on the depth chart coming back from injury, right? Is he going to be healthy right away for week 1? Is he going to have to fight his way back through the field of other running backs? I expect him to be near the top when he is fully healthy, whenever that may be. I'm pretty sure he's going to be ready for week 1. Who knows? But he is so much fun to watch because he is so freaking good. He can do it all. And the other side of that coin in that situation, Ohio State, is they're breaking in another quarterback too.
That, but also
whether it's Devin Brown or what's the other one? I can't think of it. But they've got two quarterbacks that they love that are competing it out, right? Both are going to be really good. But anytime you're breaking a new quarterback, you need a good run game. Is TreVeyon Henderson going to be the guy that carries this offense, at least initially during this season?
And I just looked it up, too, because I actually didn't have TreVeyon Henderson on, or actually any running back for Ohio State on my list. But Mayan Williams, he also will be coming back. And that's another good 1-2 punch. You familiar at all, Mayan Williams? He was a number 2 back behind TreVeyon Henderson.
Say it again?
Mayan Williams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have Mayan Williams. You've got Evan Pryor still there.
Yeah.
And many more running backs. You've got talent there, right? And so what I'm saying is when TreVeyon Henderson comes back, is he going to slot back into the number 1 spot? Or is he going to have to – or is Mayan Williams going to take over that for that number 1 back? And TreVeyon's going to have to earn it again.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting dynamic when he is ready to rock and roll. I think he's probably ready to go right now. I don't know. But TreVeyon Henderson is an absolutely fantastic running back that's awesome to watch. And I want to see him carry that offense, at least initially, when they're breaking in their quarterback. If he's going to have that opportunity or not, I don't know. They may let Mayan Williams start the season as the number 1 back since he's there. He's been doing it. And, I mean, he's damn good also. So I think that how his filtering back into the starting rotation happens, I think that's going to be really interesting for him.
Yeah.
Numero dos. Who's number 2 on your list?
So this was tough, but because there's so many that you could choose from and make a case for. But in honor of our man Chris, who is not here,
Rocket Sanders?
Raheem Rocket Sanders, which need I say more when you have a nickname like Rocket Sanders.
So before we get into it, I love this. He's on my list. He was a little bit farther down, but we'll just talk about him here.
Okay.
I was watching a video the other day I saw on Twitter, and it was a reporter asking, what's his face, the head coach? Sam Pittman.
Sam Pittman, yeah.
They're asking Sam Pittman because on the roster, on the roster, I think Raheem Sanders was listed at like 242 or 245 pounds, something like that.
Yeah.
And they asked him about his weight. What do they think about the weight? And Sam Pittman goes, well, I mean, there's not much we can do about it. We've talked with nutrition. We've talked with the strength and conditioning staff. And that's what he's doing because there's nothing to lose. He's all muscle and skin there. There's nothing to lose. So not only is he explosive and wicked fast, he is massive too, apparently.
He is. And to go along with that, he was second in the SEC in rushing last year. And I think he was third in rushing touchdowns in the SEC. But you can make a case that having KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders, that's one of the best rushing duos in the SEC, maybe even the country. So that's why I imagine
LSU would like to have a word.
And
I imagine USC would like to have a word.
Well, hold on. I didn't say the best. I said one of the best. So
I'm just saying I can list a few teams that would like to have a word with you.
Oh, of course. You absolutely could. But with his speed and KJ, who likes to run more than he throws anyway, I think that'll help feed Rocket's game. And I think we'll even see potentially a better year from him this year. So that's why he's number 2. And to all my friends back in Arkansas who listen to this, I love you guys. Shout out to you. You're also part of the reason Rocket's number 2 on my list.
Jesus.
Hey, my friends back in Arkansas said that
what it comes down to is, I know, and we talked about this a lot during our Arkansas player preview. Their offense this year, a lot of it's going to revolve around the running back room performance at Arkansas, which starts with Raheem Sanders. And I know there's several other players there that are really, really good, but it's going to start and end with him. And so if he is up to the expectation, doing what he does, their offense is probably going to be pretty good. If he starts struggling or he gets hurt or whatever it may be, now Arkansas is struggling. So not only is there a lot of pressure on him to perform, we know he can do it. But whether he does it or not, it's going to be fun to follow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you bring him up being number 2 in rushing in the SEC.
Dude, if you're going with the number 1, that's the number 1 rusher in the SEC. That if we're talking about the same person, that person,
Mr. Quinshon Judkins,
that person is number 3 on my list. So I love it. I love where your head's at. It came down to Mr. Quinshon, but I want to hear your thoughts before I speak.
So for me, Quinshon Judkins, he's one of the best running backs in the country as a true freshman last year, right?
3-star.
You're returning him as a true sophomore.
Yep.
In Lane Kiffin's system, which we know is historically friendly for offenses.
Mm-hmm.
You get him another year in the college weight and conditioning program. The one question for me is, so basically I'm saying I have no doubt on his talent, his capabilities. He's going to be bigger, faster, stronger this year. And having another year in the system under Lane Kiffin, he's going to be smarter with the offensive play calls also. My question is he going to have another play caller in front of him?
Yeah.
Because last year, you had Jackson Dart, most of it, if not the entire season.
Right.
But then they bring in, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, I'm pretty sure. They bring in Spencer Sanders, who, why the hell would you go to Ole Miss? Who knows? But, you've got Spencer Sanders on it, what feels like 20th college football season. It's ridiculous. The thing is, Spencer Sanders, you're probably not transferring there if you don't anticipate playing. Because for him, it's make or break, right? So I have a hard time seeing him start or him not start. And so for me, that entire offense at Ole Miss is going to make or break, not with Quinshawn, but if Spencer Sanders is leading it, what the hell is he doing? Because we know Spencer Sanders has those moments of brilliance, and then he has those streaks of, what the hell are you doing? Another fumble? Really? And so a lot of Quinshawn's ability this year is going to be dependent on the quarterback.
I can see that. One of the things that I liked when I was, again, going through this, did you know that he was a 3-star recruit?
I did.
Which makes the case even more, I guess. It makes the case have a lot more weight, in my opinion. And also, did you know he set the Ole Miss record for rushing and rushing touchdowns in a season?
I did.
So that alone, I like it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I like where your head's at saying, like, who's he going to have?
It's actually, like, a reason why he's going, like, Quinshawn's going top 5 in most fantasy college football drafts.
Oh, is he really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I can see why. So, I mean, the SEC definitely isn't going to sleep on him anymore. That's for sure. But,
no.
But we'll see.
That's going to be the difficult part is now that they have a year of tape on him, are they going to adjust? We know in all likelihood they will, right?
Right.
And so can he maintain the same level of production or better second year? We had the same kind of conversation with Will Anderson the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He had a borderline Heisman-worthy season. And then last season, he was still damn good last year, but because the stats weren't as good, he had that perception of, well, it wasn't a good year.
Yeah.
And so we may see the same thing, but where he had such a record-breaking season as a freshman, Quinshawn may still have a really, really good season in year 2, but people are going to say, well, he took a step back because it's not as good as the first year. So that's the benefit and the downfall of setting the bar really high in year 1. You've got to maintain that in year 2. And so there's always a big, big question mark revolving that for anybody the following season.
So, yeah, I mean, for all those reasons, like you were talking about, that's why I had Judkins as my number 3. Very close second. But who's your number 3?
That was my number 3.
Oh, I thought that was my bad. Where's my
we both had Sanders. We both had Judkins. I had Henderson. You had Quorum. So going on to number 4. Who do you have as number 4?
So I'm making a turn over to the Big Ten again.
Okay.
Braylon Allen, Wisconsin.
Dang it. I thought I was unique in that one. Okay.
No, sir. So
tell me more.
Okay. So over 1,200 yards rushing, 11 rushing touchdowns. I could go over more stats, but last year they were pretty much like a run-heavy offense, which is interesting because this year with Luke Fickell, is that his name? They're going to be very air raid style and pass heavy, which in theory should create more opportunities for Braylon Allen to get some good holes up the middle and to the outside. So I think he'll have a repeat year or even a better year, even though they're going to an air raid style offense, because it'll open up more running lanes for Braylon when they decide to run the ball.
Well, here's the thing. So there was a lot of when it was found out that Chris is leaving and there wasn't really nobody knew who the head coach was going to be yet. There's a lot of rumors that Braylon Allen's going to transfer.
Yeah.
He didn't. So there's that working for him. But the biggest interesting things to see is you're going from an offense that was very much, hey, we're running the ball, we're going to pound it down your throat. Braylon's getting the ball most plays, to an air raid style offense. Phil Longo wants to sling the ball around, and you think about it, right? You've got, when going back to Phil Longo's days at UNC, you've got good players with Sam Howell and all the receivers they had. I mean, they just had Antoine Green and, oh God, who's the other one, get drafted, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you think about it, you go back to, 2 or 3 seasons ago, and you have like Michael Carter and the other running back that was there, that duo that was super, super productive.
Sure.
I go back to thinking about I think they're in the Orange Bowl against I think it was Texas A&M, and the running backs just completely dominated that game.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I don't remember that game.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Really. Can't say I do. It involves A&M, so
maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Speaking of A&M, did you see the new Untold on Netflix of Johnny Manziel?
So there was a crap. What fucking bowl is that, dude? Well, Texas A&M won the Orange Bowl game, but
great. Woohoo! What? I said great. Woohoo!
What? That's gonna bug me now because what?
What bowl?
I'm gonna freaking find it because it's gonna bother me.
Versus A and M.
I don't know. It's gonna bother me, but
was it the Guaranteed Rate Bowl?
I don't think so, but it might be.
No, that was against Oklahoma State.
Because it wasn't that long ago. I just remember watching a game, and they were just absolutely shredding. Yeah, him and Javonte Williams was disgusting.
I can't find it either. That's weird.
Yeah, they opt. So it must have been a regular season game because
huh. Anyway, though,
you get the point. Yeah. Phil Longo can have very, very productive and successful running backs. And so we know how good Braylon Allen is. The most intriguing thing about the situation is how is it going to translate for Braylon going for a system where he is running the ball, 2 yards in a cloud of dust type every single play to, hey, we're going to spread them out. We're going to get vertical and go fast. And that kind of complete dichotomy in offensive philosophies is going to be really, really interesting to see how it plays out. I'm expecting him to have stupid numbers, but
for those reasons, right, that we were talking about, like them
going absolutely.
Yeah. So I totally agree.
I found the game I was talking about.
What was it?
So it was UNC playing at Miami in I think it was the last week of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. So UNC played at Miami. That's why I thought it was an Orange Bowl in the last week of the season, and they won 62-26.
Oh, well, there you go. That'll do it.
Michael Carter had 24 carries, 308 yards, 2 TDs. Javonte Williams had 23 carries, 236 yards, and 3 TDs.
That's how you do it.
Just disgusting numbers.
Yeah.
I remember watching that game vividly, like Miami's crying, dude.
Yeah, for real, I would be.
But alas, so Braylon Allen's gonna be a lot of fun. I am so sad because I thought I was unique in that choice. I doubt we have the same last one.
What if we do?
You say it first.
Okay. So when I saw the name, I was like, I didn't know there was a junior.
God damn it, dude.
I chose Frank Gore Jr. Southern Miss. Dude, this is why I was so looking forward to this episode.
So for those watching or listening at this point, we had no communication setting up these lists.
Yeah, no, none whatsoever.
But apparently we think alike because I also have Frank Gore Jr.
Man, the instant you said, we probably don't have the same ones. I was like, we have the same one.
Oh
Dude,
no.
he
No,
really
so
shined in the Sun Belt.
I did not pick him for the sake of the name.
I looked at his name and I was like, okay, I got to dig into this. Does he play like his dad? And he had really
was
good
one of
numbers.
the most important players on the Southern Miss team last year.
What's that?
He was one of the most important players on the Southern Miss team.
Oh, for sure. And granted, it's in the Sun Belt, but
hey, don't discourage the G5 in my house. We love the Fun Belt.
The Fun Belt. Okay. So, all that being said, he had really good numbers. So, and by the way, did you know?
So here's the thing: he is absolutely primed to be really, really good once again.
Yeah.
And Southern Miss is primed to be really good once again.
For sure.
I because of his pedigree, I don't have questions of whether or not he's going to be good, right? Or whether he's going to stay up to the same level. He's going to be good and consistent, given he stays healthy, as with anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really high on Southern Miss this year, and they're going to go as he goes. So, honestly, I don't have a lot of questions about it. My main question is, how high can they go?
For sure. And I like what their head coach, Will Hall, said about him.
Great coach, by the way.
For sure. He said he's embraced the whole deal of to whom much is given, much is required. When I heard that, I was like, okay, he's going to be good again. He's got the ability. And he might even rush for more than he did last year. By the way, I thought it was also, I didn't even know this was a bowl game. So last year, did you know Southern Miss beat Rice in a bowl game? Do you know what the name of that bowl was?
The Sun Bowl. I don't know.
The Lending Tree Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'd never heard of that one in my life. So
get used to her, buddy.
So hey,
you're here to stay.
I liked his stats. I like like you mentioned, the pedigree and where he comes from and who he has in his corner and who he has helping him become better and where he is mentally. That's where I think he's primed to be really good again.
That whole team is taking on the mentality of their coach, Will Hill. I love Will Hill. He's a great coach. And because of that, I fully feel they're going to be a complete team this year and go far.
For sure.
What it looks like in the Sun Belt, who knows? But I'm super excited to watch them. I don't watch a ton of Sun Belt games, but when I do, I'm always very much pleased. And so I plan on watching more of them this year. And they're going to be on the top of my list as long as I can.
For sure.
Because we went boring and had literally 4 out of 5 matching freaking running backs, I'm going to do the Homer thing and plug Javante Barnes.
Of course you are.
Well, so.
Oh, hey, before you move on.
Well, so here's the thing, right?
Before we move on. What I just found about Frank Gore Jr. So his grade was 91.9. He only trailed 3 running backs in terms of grade. Can you name or do you have any idea who those 3 would be?
Say it one more time.
So Gore's 91.9 grade this year trailed only 3 running backs in terms of grade this past season. Do you know who they were?
Blake Corum.
That's 1.
Bijan Robinson.
That's 2. I don't think you'll get the third one. It's Dwayne McBride from UAB.
Oh.
Which I did not know that until I looked it up.
He's another returning running back this year that given UAB is somewhat competent, they are going to be wildly good this year.
James?
Yes.
I think he got drafted.
Did he?
Pretty sure. Yeah, he plays for the Minnesota Vikings.
Shit, never mind. I'm stupid. So for me, I've done a few of the fantasy college football drafts, and he's still listed on there. So I'm glad I didn't pick him.
That's weird. There's something wrong.
There's some kinks they're picking out, let me tell you. So, but that shows you how involved I've been recently in fucking anything sports. So much work, but never mind then.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Can't say I made a mistake.
Blah, whatever. They would have been really good this year if he was back. I'll tell you what, though.
Oh, for sure.
They were good last year.
Can't say I haven't made that mistake. So,
well, and so hear this, right? I think it's week 4, week 5 this year that UAB plays Tulane, and I've seen a lot of people hyping that game. Should I'll probably watch the game. That sounds like a fun game.
Anyway.
Well, so what I was saying is Javante Barnes, true freshman for Oklahoma last year, played behind Eric Gray and a couple others. When he got in, he was really, really good. And we kind of got to see his potential flash a couple times. He's supposed to be healthy coming back this year. And he's gonna be our number 1 back.
For sure.
He's the kind of he was highly recruited, high 4-star coming out of high school. He's one of your 3-down backs. That is, he's got size, he's thick, he's fast. He's going to be a really good running back, assuming he stays healthy. You pair him with somebody like Gavin Sawchuk, who's also a true sophomore that coming into this year. Might actually be a redshirt freshman, but Gavin's your burner. He's going to make a cut and burn the shit out of you if you're not careful. And so having those different kind of chess pieces around Javante, I fully expect him to be really, really good this year.
I could see that.
And so I'll plug that one extra one since we went boring. And sure. So to recap, we started interesting. I had TreVeyon Henderson, you had Blake Corum, but from then on we matched Rocket Sanders, Braylon Allen, Frank Gore Jr., and Quinshon Judkins. How could I forget one of the best running backs in the country, Quinshon Judkins?
Yeah,
and I want him on one of my fantasy.
Let me throw in Jonathan Brooks.
No.
Yes, I'm throwing in Jonathan Brooks in our loaded running back room.
He was terrible in the bowl game.
The bowl game? But whatever.
He was terrible in the bowl game.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. The bowl game. That's just a bowl game. Dude, best player on OU going into this year, Davis Bevel, baby.
All right, I'm going to end it there because we know you're full of crap.
Bro.
Thank y'all for listening. I know this was a rough episode.
I love the Wildcat.
I'm not going to let you fucking talk shit no more. You lost all credibility when you said that name coming out of your mouth. Freaking Gumby out there at wide receiver who are running Wildcat.
James, how is he still on your roster?
He's barely still on the roster. That Gumby looking dude.
Bro, he should be behind General Booty, which that's an awesome name, and Jacob Switzer. Fucking hell, man.
Dude. It was bad.
I still remember you were towards halftime. You were walking down the steps, and Davis Bevel just chucks it, and he gets picked off by Deshaun Jameson, and you just threw your arms up in the air and just went fuck and just walked right into the tunnel.
I did do that, yes.
Oh man,
I do that.
Hey, well, and who knows, man? If they go all in with the Wildcat this year, Javante Barnes very could well be one of the best running backs in the country.
They're not going to go in all running back. Dylan Gabriel's going to be a lot better than he was last year, so fuck you.
Probably.
We're going to be better. Thanks for listening. We'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.